I want to, first of all, introduce myself. My name is Don Schwartz. I'll be the instructor for this class. But I want to explain the program, the purpose of the program, and how we put it together, which is really important. The whole idea of this program is to do one thing: prepare you to pass the real estate sales or broker's test. So that's nothing to do with anything in real estate. We're not going to teach you how to market real estate or buy properties or do foreclosures. I'll give you a lot of good information because you need to understand what's going on in the marketplace, but most of it doesn't relate to what you're going to do in the marketplace. And the reason for that is if you're going to get into lending, most people that get into lending are home sales. And when you get in that part of the field, it's all sales. So in other words, you'd have to take a sales training program. So everything you get when you get to the business really is a sales training program. And if you don't even know what you're doing, as long as you bring clients in, people will do all the paperwork for you. So consequently, again, you don't have to really understand all the stuff as you're going into it because it's things you're not really going to use in today's market, probably more likely because everything's totally changed. Financing's changing, marketing's changing, everything's going to change. So we're going to have to adapt to what's going on. Anyway, the idea of the program was to get you totally focused to the state examination. Now, most of you have taken qualification courses. In order to take the test, you have to take a qualification course, 3 for the sales, up to 8 for the brokers. As far as I'm concerned, those brokers are total broker courses or the sales courses for those things are a total waste of your time. And the reason for it is it's giving you a lot of information you don't need. As an example, if you did like a property management course, you might have one question out of that book that has like 550 pages in it. So here you're reading this thing, you're studying, and you're trying to remember all this information when in fact there's like one. Now, if you look down to the principle of substitution, which is letter C, what substitution basically means is this. When you go into the marketplace and you're looking to buy something, and let's suppose it's like tuna. They got like Star-Kissed, and they got what, chicken of the sea and what, bumblebee or something. I don't really like bumblebee for some reason, but anyway. The whole thing is, if they were equal quality, you could care less which one you purchase, correct? Now, if they have different prices on them, which one are you normally going to buy? The cheaper one. So what they found in the marketplace, what they mean by substitution is when people go in the marketplace and they're looking for something, they substitute in equally desirable products or services. And then if there's different prices, they will normally, almost always, buy the cheapest one. You don't want to use the word cheap in real estate, so it's less expensive, right? So you buy the less expensive one. Well, the method we call the comparison of market data approach to appraising is based upon the principle of substitution. What I mean by that is if you said, hey, Don, you know what? What's my property worth? Well, all I have to do is do this. Go out in the marketplace and see what properties like yours are currently selling for. Whatever they're selling for, most likely, that's all you're going to get, correct? So what we're saying is if they're all selling for $200,000, you're not going to get $250. It's not going to be $180 if you want to go out and sell your property. They're all selling for $200,000. So all we're really saying is you go in the marketplace, and the marketplace is kind of dictating what the value is going to be, correct? If they're all selling for $200,000, you're not going to get more than that. So the method we call the comparison of market data approach is actually based on the principle of substitution. I'll kind of show you how that comes up in the test question on the test, but that's one of the questions they could have. You know, what method of appraisal is based on the principle of substitution, income approach, or, you know, the comparison of market data or the cost approach? And it would be what? Comparison of market data. Getting a 1% return. So here's the way the mathematics works. $20,000 equals or represents 100% of how much money, whatever it is, that's what they're willing to pay. And $20,000 equals 100% of how much? $20,000. Let's see if that's true. The investor hands you $20,000, let's say in cash, right? Make it simple. In the end of the year, if everything works out the way it's supposed to work, the property gives them back how much? Giving them what return on their investment? 100%. And they adjusted for that. That's how they paid a price based upon what percent return they wanted. Yeah, let me give you some tips on the test real quick. Last test I took was in 1976. Get a little rusty on it now. Anyway, my last test was a broker's exam. I took it in 1976. The way I studied for it, the way I studied for my sales exam, I studied the same way I studied when I went through school. And when I had a test coming up in school, I didn't study like a week before the test or the night before the test. I studied the day of the test. You know, when I was 10, I got a paper route, so I was used to waking up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd start reading the chapters I was supposed to read, because they give you the pages you have to read for the test, right? And then I'd go sit in the cafeteria, and then if I wasn't ready yet, I'd cut a couple of classes, and pretty soon I'd end up in the class I'm taking a test at. And I'm still reading the material while I'm sitting there. And they go, put the book down because, you know, test is starting. So what happened was I got the test, you know, sheet, and I looked at it, and it's just like I saw the answers not too long ago. I really had a really good recall, you know, clear understanding of what they were. Why was that? How come I recognize this thing so readily? Because I just looked at the information. See, I didn't realize when I was growing up, this is like a therapy treatment. When I was growing up, I had like girl problems, right? Because I was an adolescent. And then I had gang problems. We were going through little problems in Oakland at the time. And I had peer problems and family problems and personal problems. And you know what? None of those things come into play, right, if you're studying straight through for your test. The thing that stops you from passing a test is you're going to leave here and something's going to happen. And one lady told me she went to take her test like on Saturday one time, and her daughter ran away that morning with a postman or something, and she ended up failing the test. What I'm saying, all these things get involved between you studying for the test and then going over to take it. That's why I made that audio for you, by the way, so you can recall these things when you get over there and have it fresh in your memory.